Hey, what's happening? It's Bill Smith. I was trying to squeeze all this into one 15-minute video. I just couldn't get it all in. So we're just going to pick up where we left off. We're going to have a part two. I want to show you something that somebody sent me. I've already posted a link to the archive of the BackChannel17 account, which has been taken down off Twitter. You can come over here. This is the web archive. That's not the one that someone sent me. I apologize. Here, let me find it for you. Okay, this is it. This is it's archive.is/J7BT So it's a different archive of the old BackChannel17 Twitter handle. I had the last header on it. I plugged this in the last channel, like I said. By the way, 17 is Q in the alphabet, so that's where the 17 comes from. BackChannel Q. You get it? All right. All right, so here's where we left off. I was talking about Antarctica. I've already talked about this Edgar Rice Burroughs Palisador, which was actually spelled wrong. I showed you the link in the last one. Here it is again. That's the correct spelling. I don't know anything about this. I'll just be totally honest. This is new to me. I guess this guy wrote Tarzan or something, but he kind of talks about some stuff that kind of talks about like Hollow Earth, I think. I think that's what I got out of this. Again, I'm not an expert on this stuff, so I'm just going to move on. But this was in reference to what is under Antarctica. People have had lots of conversation about this already, so I'm not going to go deep into this. But I will tell you that what I found weird last week was that the Drudge Report referenced something about Nazis going to Antarctica, like the conspiracy theory about that, and that they left for Argentina after the war. And then the Joe Rogan Experience talked about that conspiracy theory the exact same day it hit the Drudge Report. So I found that really weird. There's probably a lot here to talk about, but I'm just going to move forward because that's not really what the focus is of this video. So here we go. Back to the EyeTheSpy questions. Now, in the last video, I talked about Meghan Markle. I found that weird. I was like, why would they pick this chick? You know, like, obviously, the royal family doesn't pick things because, you know, they're not in love. You know, it's because they all share a genetic heritage somewhere. So Meghan Markle's tied into this with her dad, but the answers that was given on this thread right here says that Meghan Markle was a Nickelodeon kid who's kind of been MK Ultra'd, I guess, and passed around for a while. But again, her dad was kind of tied back in. He didn't go to the wedding. I've already talked about that. And going forward, I want to clean up some of the content that I present, which is, you know, let me stop and talk about that for a second. I don't really have a platform. All right, I'm just trying to be honest as I see the world and the problems that I see. So if you have a problem with certain positions that I've taken, I'm sorry. I'm not really meaning to insult you. I have done things in the past in order to kind of like rattle the cage, stir the pot, get people to come out in the open. It's not really disinformation. It's just I took an approach and now I'm taking a different one. So now I'm probably not going to respond to Unirock ever again. If I do, it'll be a really, really terribly bad takedown video. But just remember the people that said to trust them and then wait 2 weeks and then see where we land. You know? I think it's that easy. Okay, so this is them talking about Antarctica. Here's a message from Space Shot. What's up, dude? I'm glad to see you on here. That was quick. So good for you. Go check this guy's channel out. He's an honest guy. Space Shot 76. Okay, so moving on. Next question on the list was, good actors make good movies? That one I can't fully figure out. Is Comey, is he a white hat or black hat? We should be past this by now. All right, Comey is obviously a bad dude. He is. And I think this came from the Q post, like what makes a good movie? I think a plot twist does. You know, some kind of like something you're not ready for, something that kind of comes out of nowhere and takes you by surprise. I think that's what makes a good movie. But just to get this clear, Comey's not a good guy. All right, that should be clear by now. Next question on the list from EyeTheSpy was, what about the rumor that Clinton stole 5 states and manufactured votes? True. Diebold problems that led to the CEO resigning in shame. We had to work really hard not to let her completely steal all of it. There were many failed attempts by our cronies there too. This is true. Okay, here's the ATM machine maker Diebold. The CEO stepped down a couple months ago. This is right when all those CEOs were ejecting themselves. I don't know. I think this is before the Trump executive order, the big one. I think that came after this, but, you know, this did happen. So I just wanted to toss that in there. Okay, now in the last video I talked about this. I'm telling you, Pence is dirty. I haven't read this yet, but we're going to read it together. Is Pence playing for the right team? Pence is complicated. No easy answers. Pence didn't always play nice. We have leverage over him that ensures he does. I guess there was a tweet here. This was brought up early in the Q post. They were saying, look, it's not about good or bad. It's about who can be leveraged and who can not. Timothy Holmseth has put a video out about this. I approached this early. I don't like Pence at all. I can tell you that. I've seen weird search result manipulation on YouTube about Pence. But, you know, there's the answer. So I'm just going to move on past that and let it go. Probably won't bring Pence up much more in the future. Okay, was BackChannel17 Julian Assange? Yes! In part. It was operated by a team of people for the select purpose of exposing bad actors. The news cycle itself changed around the ID reveal and the Stringer post. Compromised WikiLeaks continuously engaged them aggressively. I would look at those facts as solid proof. Now, the first video I put out today about BackChannel17, I'm a little late to this. You know, I don't really want to get on board with stuff really early out of the gate. I'd like to see how they work out before I go propagating a message. I don't want to do any harm here. So it's a lot of responsibility to have 30,000 subscribers and then see your message show up on other people's channels and parts of other conversations. So I'm trying to be responsible here. But I did get a message. It was kind of weird. I probably shouldn't talk about it. Ended up in my spam folder, but it said that a lot of the stuff I talked about in the BackChannel17 video was pretty accurate. I was close. So I could be a little off on some of this stuff. Don't take my word for it. Do your own research. Add to the conversation where you can. Moving on. Okay, next one is, why not cut Brenner, Clapper, Clinton, Obama carry off from the classified info? Aren't they a danger at this point? The answer, it's better to let them lead us to everyone else than to cut off all the heads at once. We are in full control. That should be obvious at this point, okay? These people don't have any power. Trust POTUS. I don't know if I covered this yet, but is Seth Rich dead? Yes. He was killed by MS-13 by leaking DNC information to Julian Assange. We all know that by now, though. Dude died in the hospital. 611 blows it wide open. Talks about when the clowns are going to be exposed. Is MSM on the clown payroll? Why can't funds be cut to them? June 11th blows it wide open. And haven't they already been exposed about a zillion times? The question is, when will people wake the F up and care again? June 11th, that's when it goes down. Pain hits them hard. People are going to wake up, like it or not. Now, this is stuff for like my dad, my uncle, my liberal friends that don't want to believe. They can't take the red pill. It is a tough pill to swallow, I'll be honest. A lot of people prefer to be in the dark, believe it or not. Why June 11th? It's an important anniversary for Julian Assange. It's also the day before the North Korea talks. What is the Sky event Q spoke of? What Pharma said, plus something special that I honestly think needs to stay a surprise. Let's see if there's another reply. Nothing there. All right. Here's a question from Marco Polo. Is there any reason why we should be worried? Anything you need us to do? The answer, are you talking specifically about, quote, the storm? Did you ever have to do anything? Being aware is enough to scare the living S out of the powers that be, and for those of you following Q, you have enough intel to sink a planet, which is kind of the goal. All right. So that's kind of what I've been getting at, like, in parts. Like, there's really nothing that we can do. Okay, just knowing what's going on is pretty much enough. Some of this stuff was to wake up, people, I think, to get a little bit of traction under them, so that, like, there's this thing called critical mass, like the 100th monkey, that kind of stuff. I think it's important, but honestly, like, I don't have my finger on the button. I'm not in politics. I can't call a congressional hearing. There's nothing I can do other than talk into this microphone and hope that you listen. So if you're aware of Q, you've already done your job. We just need to stay vigilant. Stay as a part of the conversation. Here's a question. Did you see the statement from WikiLeaks about Q? WikiLeaks is compromised. I covered that. Is the Canadian Prime Minister Trudeau and Alex Soros meeting any different than George Soros and Trudeau meeting in topics of conversations? Also, is that picture of Alex Soros in the white suit with red shoes with his arm around the tan girl in a black hooded dress, Meghan Markle? Answer, not really. They are all connected. Markle was passed around for years and years. Nickelodeon crop. Ruling elite bloodlines are kept pure this way. I think I covered that in the last video. Okay, this is what I want to get to. I almost want to start the video over because I've been following this for a while. If you're new to the Mandela effect, it's freaking weird, okay? The Volvo symbol is now a male sign, and we could be just totally wrong about all this stuff. Anyway, they bring up Mandela effect, CERN, NASA, flat Earth, yada yada. He says, narrow the question. And we will narrow the question. So here's the question. When the planet sinks, does the plane rise? Have they discovered an interdimensional simulation? Are they trying to alter existence? 1, yes. 2, no, it's not a simulation. 3, yes. But they're failing so far and only succeeding in blowing up a lot of scientists. Dangerous for everyone that they are even trying. No simulation. Are they suggesting they're attempting to alter existence by accessing another dimension? Will the Smithsonian fall Nephilim? Over the mark! Immortality is their only goal in all of it. The true masters of the world is a world that never changes hands. All right. So, I mean, this stuff is interesting to me. I don't know what else to say about that. I'm going to squeeze as much as I can in before the end of the video here. Are clowns responsible for school shootings? Black hats. It depends on the event. Bad things do happen. Some people are crazy. Yes, there are instances where preventable things were allowed to happen or sick people were urged by outside sources, and some that are outright inside jobs. Now, I can't really go into much more detail about this. I'll get strikes. YouTube has a problem with even talking about this. The 2 words you can't say. Say it with me. C, blah, 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 A, blah, 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 blah. You won't find it in predictive search if you want to know what I'm talking about. This is a why can we trust you question. I'm going to move past that. Here we go. You guys are interested in this. Will the Pope be gone? May is almost over. Now, I tried to tell you this in a previous video. It doesn't say... Actually, I don't know if I uploaded that. It doesn't say that Pope is going to be fired or executed or anything. It just says he's going to be having a bad May. Now, all the cardinals in Bolivia or something just turned on him. Bishops, I don't know. I can't recall everything, but he's been having a bad May. So it says, is this a Q reference? The Pope's bad May did not mean he would lose office. He has had his power shaken and his credibility smashed. Remember the gay stuff? One day he too will be gone, and the abuses of power will be ended completely. That's part of the Q team's bonds breaking worldwide. Sweet. Frazzle Drip, I don't know what that is. I'm out of time. I'll post the link. Until then, chemtrails, When the skies are clear, the war's over. Till next time, this is Bill Smith.